So here we have the NanoDrop. NanoDrop is used for measuring the concentration of DNA solutions or protein solutions. And it's called a nanodrop because you have to use a very, very tiny amount of solution to actually measure the concentration. So it's very nice for if you're making like a, if you did a mini prep or a maxi prep, and you have a very tiny amount of sample, the nanodrop won't use very much of your sample. So it's good to have that. So to use the NanoDrop, all you have to do is find this program here on a desktop. There's also conveniently placed a user manual right above it. So if you ever have questions about how to use a NanoDrop and you don't find it in this video or otherwise, you can find it on a user manual. When you click on the opening up the program, this module will appear, and you have different options for what you might want to do. So if you want to do nucleic acid quantification, so if you have a DNA sample, you would use this one. If you had a protein sample, you would use this one. So let's say that we have a protein sample. You have different methods you could use based on the based on what type of quantification you want to do. And you can find more details about this in the manual. But we're going to choose the formaldehyde method right now. So the main thing to know about using a NanoDrop is that you just have to use a very tiny amount, like I said before. Use a ultra accurate pipette, just like this one. This one is the 0.2 to 2 microliter pipette, and that will give you the most accurate and precise measurement. You just have to adjust the pipette to 1 microliter. There. And then it's very simple. This is the arm of the NanoDrop. On this arm, there's a pedestal. This little circle here, the circle has a hole in it. That's where your sample will be placed. And essentially when you drop the arm, the sample will be drawn into a column, and then you can measure the concentration of your sample using different absorbance, basically shine light on it and see how much it absorbs the light. So just for an example of how to do this, I don't have an actual sample on me, so I won't be able to show you concentration of anything, but I'll show you an example of how it works. So I'll take my pipette, put a tip on it, and then I'll use a blank solution. So right here I just have water, but you would really use the solution that your sample is dissolved in. So that might be water, it might be buffer. Whatever your sample is dissolved in, use that solution, and that'll act as essentially your baseline measurement. I took just a microliter of water, and then I'm going to pipette it onto the pedestal. And it's going to be a very tiny amount. When you close the arm and you press blank, start measuring it. And then you have your blank now. So the next thing to do is to open up the arm again. Take a lint-free wipe, such as a Kim wipe here. So between samples, you would want to wipe off the bottom of the arm, the top of the arm, and it's set for your next sample. And after a while, you'll have, if you have only one sample, then it's it. But if you have several samples, you can actually go and look at show report, and it will all just show up here what your samples were. It will tell you what your concentration was based on your standard curve. And you have to create a standard curve, of course, using a known concentration of your protein or DNA to make a standard curve. But if you have any questions about that particularly, that's something you can ask me about, or find a protocol to find a standard curve for NanoDrop. But that's essentially how you use NanoDrop. The most important thing to know is to clean the pedestal arms between use. use 1 microliter for your sample, and that's really all. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions about it, please ask a facilitator, YouTube video, user manual. Probably get some answers.